Hey, what's going on, guys? Achievement here, and today I am super excited to be showing you guys my first look at Baron, who's the new hero coming in update 1.22 of Vainglory, confirmed now. So this is going to be the first look at the splash art and some gameplay in-game. So as you can see with Baron, we have these, just the mortar shells. We have the cannon here. We have these skull-type faces on his thighs. Just incredible splash art. And then you have these towers going on in the background. And of course, Baron over here. So this is his splash art. We're going to go ahead and take a look at some key points within this gameplay. As you can see right off the bat, the jump is just crazy. Did you guys see that? Look at this. So okay, let's let this play. Starting off right here, and then he jumps all the way into, looks like the bottom jungle, or the bottom shop bush. Just crazy range. Probably one of the highest in the game, I guess, on a jungler, or just on any hero in general, for that matter. You can see this is probably his ultimate coming down here, just raining down. I'm going to go ahead and go through the abilities here. So that jump was called Jump Jets. That's his B. There's those two missiles that he just released as he was walking over. So this is his B Jump Jets, that missile, and then of course this one as well is his A called Porcupine Mortar, and then this third just kind of just that massive explosion is his ultimate, his C, called Ion Cannon, and that is probably one of the coolest abilities I've seen so far. It's actually really cool. It's pretty complex, but I'm going to go ahead and explain a little bit later. Rocket Launcher is his heroic perk. You go ahead and go to his Porcupine Mortar, which is his A. As you can see here, we have the launch. He can hold up to 2 at a time, so he can do 2 in pretty quick succession here. As you can see, boom, boom, and yeah. So one thing that's really cool about Baron himself is that he's going to work with CP and weapon, and that's because each of them give him pretty unique effects in different ways. For example, with his A, it does give him a slow, as you can see, as Sky's trying to walk through, it does slow her down slightly. With his A, when you build weapon power, the slow is increased, whereas when you build crystal power, the range that you can actually build it in is increased. So as you can see, coming through here. Alright, so let's go and wait for this. So as you can see, this is it without CP, and then this is it with CP. You can see a huge difference, and obviously the ability to do it much farther. So that is one of the reasons that I think both builds will be definitely successful with him. Most heroes, they can kind of swing either way in terms of what's most successful, but with Baron, I think both are going to be pretty good. So let's go ahead and move this to the bottom. But you can see with Jump Jets, he can move over and then fire, 2 in quick succession. And then we're going to go ahead and take a look at his ultimate. Oh, and then of course with Jump Jets, similar thing with his if you build CP on his on Jump Jets, which is his B, the range actually increases. So it goes from, I think it shows the difference. So yeah, it goes from that to all the way up to that. So insane range. You could literally go from one tri-bush to the next. And then if you build weapon power, the time it takes to it actually takes time to queue up that jump, so it takes time for him to launch off. If you build weapon power, the time it takes for him to do that is decreased. So if you have a hybrid build, maybe that'll be effective. You can jump far, and then of course you can make that time that it takes to do that short as well. With his ultimate, it's basically just a massive explosion at a target location. He gets to decide where it is, and actually you can see he ignores, as you can see with walking with his ultimate here, you can see he ignores, I missed it. Alright, let's go ahead and head over here. He actually ignores all debuffs. So first to talk about just the basis of it here, you can see this sends the projectile up, and then the marker comes down in this green, and then allies can see it right off the bat. Allies can see where it's going to go right off the bat, because obviously that makes sense. But enemies, we don't want to give them a ton of time to react, so they can only see this marker a little bit before the explosion goes off. So they have a lot less time to react, and then obviously the explosion is going to come raining down. It's going to do massive amounts of damage. It shakes the ground, just obliterating the area. And as you can see, this is what it looks like with enemies. And you can see just him attacking, and then of course it actually also increases his basic attack range. You can see he was attacking from right here, and then it's all the way back there, so that's also very cool. But that is all the information we have on Baron right now. Obviously, when I am able to play him, I'll have a lot more information. I'll be able to play around with him and give you guys the word for word. But obviously, Cider Helmet is with the Hero Spotlight audio and video for you guys, giving you guys that information. So I will have that rolling right after, so we're going to go and cue that up for you guys. Stay tuned for that Hero Spotlight, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
Hey, this is Ciderhelm, and welcome to the Vainglory Hero Spotlight. Today we're looking at Baron, a living siege engine who rains destruction on his enemies. Baron brings incredible range and powerful burst damage to his team. When building crystal items, he becomes mobile artillery, shelling enemy teams from extreme distances. His weapon path enables aggressive maneuvering during combat, allowing him to quickly bring down high-value targets. Baron's heroic perk, Rocket Launcher, significantly increases the damage of his basic attacks. Additionally, each rocket explodes on impact, dealing full damage to surrounding enemies. This splash damage is reduced against lane minions. When Baron activates his Porcupine Mortar, he lobs a shell to the target location, dealing heavy damage to enemies on impact. Baron can hold up to 2 shells at a time, allowing him to fire twice in rapid succession. Enemies are also lightly slowed when hit by a mortar. When purchasing red weapon power items, the strength of this slow is greatly increased. On the other hand, blue crystal power items extend the range of this ability, allowing Baron to shell enemies from greater distances. I recommend learning and upgrading this ability first. When building crystal items, always take the overdrive as soon as possible. After powering up his jump jets, Baron launches to the target location, then gains a burst of movement speed. His next basic attack after landing fires quickly and reloads instantly, allowing him to fire 2 rockets in rapid succession. Blue crystal power items greatly extend the range of this ability. However, Baron takes longer to power up for jumps the further away he is from his destination. Red weapon power items reduce and eventually remove this power-up time. Additionally, each basic attack reduces the cooldown of jump jets, allowing weapon builds that focus on basic attacks to use this ability more frequently. The overdrive for this ability grants Baron immunity to most negative effects while in flight, and for a moment after landing. I recommend learning this ability at level 2, upgrading it second, and taking its overdrive when dealing with teams that have strong stuns or other crowd controls. Baron's Ion Cannon ultimate allows him to mark a location for an orbital strike. A few seconds later, the location is obliterated, dealing massive damage to all enemies in the area. This deals full damage to enemies near the center, while dealing reduced damage to enemies near the edges. Enemies can see and hear the moment Baron activates Ion Cannon, but only his allies see the targeting marker. The actual location of the strike is not revealed to enemies until immediately before impact. Passively, each rank of Baron's ultimate increases his basic attack range, allowing him to target enemies from further away. I recommend learning and upgrading this ultimate whenever available. When building weapon items, consider the final rank of the ultimate over the Porcupine Mortar overdrive. A teamfight breaks out as the enemy Alpha and Catherine catch Baron and his team out in the open. As the enemy Celeste rushes in, Baron fires 2 mortars to block her path. Because he's building heavy crystal power, Celeste is forced to back off to avoid the extreme damage of each shell. Immediately, she unleashes her Solar Storm. Had he built weapon power, he could quickly jump to avoid the storm, but due to his slower movement and the power-up time on his jump jets, he'll need to eat the full barrage to continue moving to safety. But Baron has just triggered his Ion Cannon. Despite outranging Celeste, she moves quicker and strikes faster than him, and his only chance to take her down depends on landing this ultimate. As the Ion Cannon's location is revealed, Celeste has already started moving into its impact zone to avoid another mortar shell. Many heroes can easily avoid getting hit by any individual mortar shell, but this very trait makes him fantastic at driving opponents into his Ion Cannon or another mortar shell. On pure instinct, Celeste backs away from the Ion Cannon, getting annihilated from both impacts. Alpha and Catherine move in, sealing Baron's fate. By splitting the team at the start of the fight, Baron was forced to spend his time covering his weaknesses rather than positioning for his damage and zoning. During this match, Baron and the enemy Jewel have been massive threats, with each team setting up to play to their strengths. Baron and Arden prepare for the inevitable fight as Saw baits the enemy team. The moment they dive in, Arden brings down the gauntlet. At this moment, Saw has already been stunned by Catherine and now rooted by Rhyme. However, Arden has managed to stun Jewel in the gauntlet walls, providing the only real chance Saw has of staying alive. Right now, Baron has two huge things going in his favor. First, the gauntlet walls allow him to safely stay close to the fight. Second, because Rhyme and Catherine are both focused on finishing Saw off, he knows exactly where to aim his mortars. He's already hit Rhyme once, and as the second shell lands, he'll hit him again. Saw backs off thanks to Arden's Vanguard just as the ion cannon strikes, erasing Catherine and Rhyme. Jewel is the last enemy standing, but despite her extreme damage, Baron finishes her off with a flyby, not even looking at the explosion as he pushes forward. Thanks for watching the Baron Hero Spotlight. Download Vainglory free on the Apple App Store, Google Play, and the Amazon App Store.